Big news happened at our nation's capital last night with the threat of a government shutdown. President Joe Biden on Thursday evening signed a deal that the House and Senate passed earlier in the day to avoid a government shutdown that would have affected hundreds of thousands of federal workers and would have slammed an economy that is still struggling to recover from the pandemic. This happened with just hours left to stave off a crisis. Under the deal, announced by Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, senators deleted a handful of Republican amendments and then approved the bill with a 65-35 floor vote. This temporary funding bill not only averts a shutdown until December 3rd, but also includes a $28.6 billion in disaster aid for states ravaged by extreme weather and $6.3 billion to further assist Afghan refugees. The House passed the Senate version of the stopgap measure later Thursday afternoon with a vote of 254 to 175, just hours before the government technically ran out of money at the end of the day yesterday. The bill does not include any provision to raise the nation's debt ceiling after Republicans steadfastly rejected any attempt to include it. Yikes, that was a close one. A lot was chopped out of that bill to make it happen, but budget and funding matters always tend to go down to the wire in Washington, it seems, as leaders in both parties negotiate for what they want. What's happening on a state level, Ashley?
Well, Tiff, there's plenty of political news in Arizona, but on this Friday, this next story is a real important one for you high school students. More than 93,000 people died of a drug overdose in the United States last year, with fentanyl being a major contributor according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention this week. The Drug Enforcement Administration issued a public safety alert. This is the first public safety alert regarding drugs in 6 years because of the increase of counterfeit pills. Arizona is being hit particularly hard as about 6 million pills were seized in the state just last year alone. Officials said the state has already surpassed that number so far this year. In Pinal County, Sheriff Mark Lamb told Fox News they had more overdoses than COVID-19 deaths last year, but not every overdose was fatal. Their deputies now respond to a call involving fentanyl every 40 hours. Lamb said this team is struggling to keep up with the recent influx of illegal M30 fentanyl pills coming over the U.S.-Mexico border. And that as long as we don't secure our border, we will continue to see human and drug trafficking in this country. The most important thing I took away when doing research for this story is that these fatal overdoses are by and large not just happening to hardcore drug users, rather teens that are trying to recreational drugs not knowing that it has been laced with fentanyl.
Yeah, that's terrible to hear. I mean, it's definitely an epidemic happening right now, and parents need to be watching, and children don't play with drugs. Simple as that.